Hey friend, Danny here. I'm so grateful that you're checking out the Feel Better Journey group coaching program. Now, I know if you're here listening to my podcast, that there's got to be stuff going on in your life that you're wrestling through. And I know also that God has brought you here. Maybe you're triggered constantly, or maybe you're having outbursts with your family, or maybe you're just really struggling with anxiety or depression or burnout or exhaustion or all of the above. Maybe your past childhood experiences of trauma or rejection or abandonment, or maybe your parents were alcoholics, or maybe your parents just didn't parent you the way that you probably needed to be parented. And maybe those things are just keep coming up and hitting you in the face day in and day out. Or maybe it's your own past regrets from bad choices that you've made that just haunt you and hold you back. Heck, maybe it's all of the above. Listen, I've been in all of these situations. I've struggled so much in my life. And I got to tell you that there is so much freedom and peace and purpose and even joy on the other side of doing the work as you work through those things. Yes, God's grace is free, but I'm telling you, it takes some work to internalize it. It takes some work to be able to actually walk and not be inhibited by the things in your past. We call it the holy and hard work around here because it's holy. And you guys, it's hard. But what's the alternative? To not deal with the stuff that's holding us back? I mean, how's that going for you, right? It didn't work for me. In fact, when things come up now, sometimes I still want to just put them under the rug and avoid them. But now I have a process and some tools to implement, and I can get through things so much more quickly and not live in the tyranny of the emotional roller coaster anymore. Do I still live on a roller coaster? Sure. I'm sensitive, I'm emotional, I'm passionate, all the things, right? Like I am up and down, right? But the goal is not to be so controlled by the up and down, to actually find some purpose in our pain that we've suffered. Otherwise, suffering without purpose is just meaningless. I mean, I can't even imagine. I don't want the things that I've been through to be wasted. I want God to use the pain that I've been through for purpose. I want the misery that I've endured to be my ministry, right? And I know you want that too. That's what we all want. I think deep in our core, that's what we were made for. And that's what the Feel Better Journey helps us do. When you join the Feel Better Journey, you're not just joining a group coaching program, you're not just working with me, but you're joining a community of amazing people. And I know that can be scary for those of us who have been burned, probably all of us. But I'm telling you, this community is holy. They are amazing. They're kind. They're authentic. They're real. And they're doing their own work on themselves. And it's so fun to journey together through the healing process that God takes us all on. In the program, there's no judgment. It's a judgment-free zone. It's a condemnation-free zone. We get to ask the complex questions that maybe you've never had an opportunity or a safe space to actually ask, right? Without someone, you know, doubting that you're a Christian. One of the biggest gifts of the program, like I said, is to not be so controlled by the tyranny of our emotions. I know we live in the age of anxiety. That's what they tell us. But I'm telling you, there's ways to find relief and to not be so controlled by the things that cause us to have anxiety. We are diving deep into God's grace. And these are not just theological terms or things that you hear in Sunday school or at church. I mean, we're actually going to apply it. We're going to actually dive in and receive compassion and grace. And what does that mean? We're going to put it on. You guys, I'm telling you, there is so much information out there. There are so many amazing books. You can listen to amazing sermons and talks on YouTube and all of that. But this is where the Feel Better Journey is different in that we're applying it, we're practicing it week in and week out. We're not just talking about these things, we're actually applying them to our lives. And that's my job to help you as your coach. We're going to dive into what it actually looks like to live in God's grace. I'm going to share the ins and outs and be a total open book with my own story. You guys, it took me so much to work through my past mistakes and the things that were done to me that harmed me, that were holding me back and just so oppressing me. And I felt like my voice was taken away. It was like, did you ever watch The Little Mermaid when Ursula took Ariel's voice? I felt like that was me. And then when I got my voice back, I was scared to use it and I didn't know how to use it. It's a whole process, you guys, but that's what we want. We want to get our voices back and we want to be able to use it for our good and for the kingdom's good and for others' good, and to have more relief and to be aligned with who we really are at our core. You guys, so many of us have been so harmed. We're dysregulated. We're not even integrated with ourselves. I talk a lot about this on the podcast about us being triune beings, right? So we have spirits, right, that are, together with the Holy Spirit that lives within us. We have minds with thoughts to contend with, we have emotions, we have physical bodies. And part of what this program does is it helps us align so that we're not so driven by the hard things in life. And we can find relief from the shitty committee thoughts in our head that have been planted long ago and not partner with that stuff. You guys, it took me a long time to not be so controlled by the past. And sure, it still flares up at times, but now I have tools and a process to be able to not live so controlled by those things. And you guys, I want to share it with you. I want to help you. This is part of God using my pain and turning it into purpose to bless others. We dive into so much, you guys, and we laugh a lot. Like, let me tell you, laughter is one of the best medicines, and we have so much fun in this program. This is not a dry, boring, I mean, we have fun. We do life together. I have to laugh. I struggle with depression, okay? So laughter is one of my cures for my depression. Like I said, this is one of the most real, authentic, kind communities you'll ever be a part of. And that was an unexpected blessing in my own life. I am so grateful. In fact, my therapist, Jim, jokes with me that by creating this community, I actually created what I've craved my whole life. And isn't God so funny to do that? Isn't God so amazing to do something like that? I've said it before, but if you like the podcast, you will love the community. If you like me, you will love the community and you'll love the program. And let me tell you, you may even stop resenting yourself and actually learn to love yourself. And let me tell you, that is like one of the biggest gifts that you can give yourself and give the people in your life. Because when we find relief and when we feel better, everyone around us feels better. It's just how it works in God's economy. I'd love to see you inside the program. We have a private podcast feed. You'll love the content. We meet weekly on Zoom. This round, we're meeting Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you have to miss one of the live Zoom calls, it's okay. They're recorded, but try to make the live Zoom calls. They are magical times where we get to connect as community. I do live coaching on those calls. I share my heart. I share about the week's content that you went through in the audios. And there's an awesome workbook that comes with it as well. And so much more. I send videos throughout the week and emails to encourage you. We're in this together. It'll be an amazing, amazing time. Check out the testimonies that are below and what others have to say. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, hello@dannysumner.com. God bless you. I'm so grateful you're here, and I hope to see you in the program.